This morning, sun's a bit hazy, checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low, gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, we're stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the phase. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling you see, prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities, we're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
What do you say, guys? We'll get this thing going? I think we shall. Let's do this, guys. Let's make it happen. My name's Ron Tyler. I'm the president of Emergency Management Associates, and we're on the air with you basically 24/7 if something happens, and on the air with you when something happens during the weekdays, Monday through Friday, sometime after 4 p.m. Eastern Time. We're here with you right now. How about that? We're here with you right now. It's important. It's very, very important that we're with you. Now, there's a reason we're on the air tonight. One, we're going to talk about earthquakes. Number two, we're going to be talking about severe weather. We're going to talk about what is going on in Texas, and we're going to talk about emergency preparedness. That's what we're going to do tonight. Let's go over the USGS map here. Okay? Let's bring up the USGS map. While I'm doing that, I'm going to take down our EMA banner here. I'm going to take down our webcam. Let's talk about earthquakes tonight, right now. Okay? This is important. We've had some earthquakes we need to discuss here. We're over here in the northwestern Pacific Ocean, just south of the Kamchatka Peninsula of Russia. This is a large 5.1 earthquake here. Down here south of the Kamchatka Peninsula, nobody's here. Nobody even lives here. Okay? This earthquake didn't do anything, but it was a large 5.1 earthquake. This is also 47 miles deep. Shell earthquake. Let's go further south. Off of Hokkaido, Japan, we have a 4.8 moderate earthquake here. 4.8 moderate earthquake here. Now we had a 5.6 earthquake in central Hokkaido, Japan earlier this week. That has since dissipated, but we are still having aftershocks here. This is a 4.8 aftershock here off the east coast of Hokkaido, Japan. This is also 24 miles deep. Off the coast of Tokyo, Japan here. Off the east coast of Tokyo, Japan, Honshu, Japan. This is a large 5.0 earthquake here. This is 47 miles offshore. Nobody felt the earthquake here at all. The Pacific Ocean waters absorb the shockwaves of this quake. Let's go further south here. This is where we get in some big earthquake activity here. Off the northeast coast of Taiwan, right along the coastline of Taiwan today. This was a very large 5.8 earthquake. 5.8 earthquake here, guys. Now, these people felt this earthquake. This is just barely 18 miles east-northeast of Yilan, Taiwan. People here felt this earthquake. Now, they probably did not feel 5.8, but they did feel 5.5 energy. They did feel at least 5.5, which is mid-range large energy. This means there were subways that were damaged here. There were houses that were damaged. People's lives were disrupted this morning. People's lives were disrupted this morning off of northeast Taiwan here. Now, guys, this is 18 miles off the coast. It's also 60 miles deep. Still a fairly shallow earthquake. Very shallow would be at 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. This is 65 miles deep. Still a fairly shallow earthquake. This earthquake rattled this entire region. This 5.8 earthquake rattled this entire region. As I said, the majority of the stress, the majority of the sheer seismic energy probably did not hit Taiwan, but 5.5, maybe even 5.6 energy did. Okay, we're going to keep an eye on this. I don't have any reports right now of damages or injuries. We're going to keep an eye on this earthquake, on this region here. Okay, this happened about 10 a.m. this morning, Eastern Time. Let's go further south and back up here. Now, over here in Indonesia, I'm first going to go over here to the Indian Ocean here, Central Indian Ocean here. Look what we're talking about here. Okay, this is over on the central eastern part of the Indian Ocean. This fault line comes out of Indonesia. This is the edge of the tectonic plate again. We've talked a lot about the edge of the tectonic plates carrying energy. Seismic energy moves along the edge of the plate and goes up into other places. This earthquake came out of Indonesia here. It's come up here in the Indian Ocean near the Nicobar Islands. This is a 4.8 earthquake here. 4.8 moderate earthquake, did no damage out here in the Indian Ocean at all. No damage at all. We go over here into Sumatra, Indonesia here. This is a 4.5 moderate earthquake here. This earthquake did damage here. 4.5 moderate energy did moderate damage here. Again, we've talked about what moderate energy is. Moderate energy can knock pictures and plaques off of walls, can rattle furniture around, really rattle furniture around, knock knickknacks and books off of shelves, in areas where you have dishes and plates and glasses and cupboards. You can rattle those dishes and plates around, and even the if you have very sensitive glass, they can knock the glass into themselves. Then all of a sudden you have breakage in your kitchen. If you have the shelves of your kitchen secured by doors on your cabinets, then you're probably more likely maybe have glass inside your cupboards rather than having the glass and the plates fall out of your cupboards. As we've told you before, the best answer for this is to make sure you have baby latches on your cupboards and all cabinets around your home. That way, if you have babies, your children are not going to get in those cabinets. And if an earthquake happens, you're more than likely going to have many of your things that you need to keep in your house safe. Okay? They're not going to fall out of the cupboards or your cabinets. Okay? That's here in Sumatra, Indonesia. But again, this is not the only earthquake that hit here. There are other smaller quakes, there are other moderate quakes that hit here in Sumatra, Indonesia today. This is only what USGS wants us to show. Okay? 4.5 earthquake here. This is 123 kilometers deep. Fairly shallow earthquake. Now, guys, there are about 60 earthquakes here in Indonesia today. USGS has shown us three. One over here east of Java in the Banda Sea. This is a 4.8 moderate earthquake here. It's in the Banda Sea. I don't believe anybody felt this earthquake because the ocean waters of the Banda Sea absorb the shockwaves of this quake. 4.8 earthquake, 107 miles deep here. We go over to Papua, Indonesia. Over here. This is another 4.9, 5.0. Why do I say that? Because we all know that USGS downgrades earthquakes. This came in as a 5.2. USGS degraded to a 4.9 here. It's not a 4.9. This is at least a 5.2 earthquake. If you go to the backside Seismologist study page, you can very well see the USGS downgrade this earthquake. It's probably a 5.1, 5.2 earthquake at least. Okay? There are other earthquakes here that USGS is not even talking about. We go over here to the eastern side of Papua New Guinea. Okay? This is a 4.8 earthquake here. Look where it's at. On a tiny island here. Now, I've done a little bit of research here. I don't think there's too many people that live on this island. This is a very tiny island here in Papua, Indonesia. Or Papua New Guinea, I'm sorry. Papua New Guinea here. There are some small towns here. There are some very small towns, maybe villages here. But again, I don't believe anybody felt any of this earthquake at all. There's people living here. We don't know about it. We don't know about it. Right here, okay? I'm trying to get as close as I can here. There may be some villages here, but we don't know. I don't think anybody felt this earthquake at all. At all, okay? This is near the shoreline. This is also 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep here. Okay? Now, let's go over to the South Pacific here. USGS not showing us hardly anything at all. Right here. This is Fiji Island, south of Fiji Islands here. This is a 4.4 moderate earthquake here. 4.4 moderate earthquake. This is a deep earthquake. This is 346 miles deep. This is 556 kilometers deep. This is a deep earthquake. Now we're going to add a 1.1 to this earthquake. Why? Because if I brought together the depth of magnitude conversion chart, you'd be adding 1.1 to this earthquake to determine the full magnitude of the next quake that's going to hit. Deep earthquakes propagate smaller, shallower quakes. Deep earthquakes propagate smaller or larger, shallower quakes. In this case, this is going to propagate. a 5.5 to a 5.6 earthquake within the next 3 to 10 days. Within the next 3 to 10 days, somewhere in this region, we're going to see a 5.5, 5.6 earthquake here in this region. Okay? That could be here in southern Fiji, could be over in Tonga, Samoa region, could be over here in Vanuatu, or even over here southern to the south in the New Caledonia Legacy Islands area. Could also go over here into the Solomon Islands right here. We don't know. But it's going to be in this region in the next little while. There are small and minor earthquakes over here in New Zealand. Small and minor earthquakes here in New Zealand, nothing really big at all. Okay? They have earthquakes every day. Nobody even talks about it except them. We talk about it when we show you stuff that you need to know about it. Just small, minor earthquakes hitting New Zealand today. Let's go over to South America here. Look at this. USPS is only showing 0 earthquakes here in South America. There are 46 earthquakes here in South America. More than likely, I'm going to tell you this, more than likely, we're going to see 14 earthquakes here in central Chile and the Andes Mountains of Argentina. 14 earthquakes here. Going north into Atacama and up here into, I can't even remember the county here in Chile. There's 2 counties here. There's Atacama, Chile. There's also, can't remember what it is now. That's really bad. That's really bad of me. But 2 counties here. What's going on here? We have 17 earthquakes here in this northern Chilean region. 16 earthquakes. Already that means we have 40 earthquakes here in Chile alone. There's a couple earthquakes up here in Peru, just moderate earthquakes, 4.2, 4.4 region. And up here into Colombia, there are a handful of minor earthquakes and 2 small earthquakes here in Chile, in Colombia. USGS not showing them. Over in Central America, 18 earthquakes here in Central America, most of those here in Costa Rica. There's some minor and small earthquakes over here in Nicaragua, El Salvador region, going up here into Guatemala. Going north here in southern Mexico. 49 earthquakes here in southern Mexico. From Puerto Vallarta to the north, just south of Puerto Vallarta to the north, all the way down here south to, what's it called? Chiapas, Mexico region here. All these earthquakes here, everywhere. We have like 22 earthquakes here in this Chiapas region here. 22 here. Isn't that interesting? Then as we go north, we get fewer and fewer, but we still get earthquakes here all the time, every day. But again, US just doesn't want anybody to know about it. Heaven forbid. Over here in Cabo San Lucas, 2 minor tremors here in Cabo San Lucas. They're not going to tell us about those either, are they? Not at all. We'll go over here in Southern California. Over here in northern Mexico, in fact. Look at this. Northeast of Ensenada here. This is a 2.6 minor earthquake here. Going up closer to the US-Mexican border here. This is a 2.0 earthquake here near what they call Progreso, Mexico. Minor 2.0 earthquake there. They're not showing hardly anything going on here in the Imperial Valley except for this right here. This is in the town of Imperial, bordering El Centro here. This is a 1.2 tremor here. They say this is in Imperial, just west of Imperial, but it's also northwest of El Centro. Down here in El Centro, we have plenty of earthquakes here. I'm going to say probably 40 earthquakes here in El Centro, and eight or nine of those are 3.0, 3.2, 3.3 small earthquakes here in El Centro. They're not going to show them to us. They haven't shown them to us in 3 months. 3 months. We have a seismograph there. They're not showing us anything at all. They don't want anybody to know what's happening. They're hiding the information, unfortunately. Unfortunately. When they want to tell us about something, they do, but likely it's not going to be good if they do at all. Okay? Now, let's go over here to San Diego County. Southeastern San Diego County right here. This north of what they call Tecate. North of Tecate, Baja, Mexico here. Tecate is on the border here. This is over in the Cleveland National Forest of East San Diego County. Okay, look where it's at. Look where it's at. It's in the mountains here of East San Diego County. This is a 1.2 tremor here. 1.2 tremor here. I've been all over this area hiking with my former scout troop. I don't know exactly where this hit, but I've probably been there before. This is just a tiny tremor here. A 1.2 tremor here, not a big deal. This is also 15 kilometers deep. 15 kilometers deep. Not bad, is it? Shallow quake. Now this is all they're showing us right here. Let's go up here to the north. Okay? This is 9 miles northeast of Julian. This is up at the top of the Chocolate Mountains here. Up at the top of the Chocolate Mountains here that divide San Diego from the Imperial Valley. This is a 2.0 earthquake here. 2.0 earthquake here. Let's go north. Right here. Borrego Springs, California. 0.6 microquake. We'll go down here to southeast. We're here in the Imperial Valley. This is southwest of Oasis, Imperial Valley here, California. This is a 0.1 microquake. Just tiny movement here. Tiny movement. We go up here to the northwest here. Again, this is in San Diego County. Anza-Borrego Desert area. Anza-Borrego Desert State Park of San Diego County. This happens to be a 0.4 microquake here. Out here to the northeast, La Quinta, California. It's basically out here in the desert area of northeast San Diego County. Very hot there. Very, very hot. This is a 0.6 microquake. Up here in the northwest, Anza-Borrego Desert State Park, also 0.7 microquake here. Going north here, 0.8 microquake here as well. Anza-Borrego Desert State Park, northeast San Diego County. We go way up here to the north now. Okay, now we're talking Valley Vista, California. This is a resort area, RV resort area. This is a 0.7 microquake here. Now we go over here to Cabazon, San Andreas Fault Time, Cabazon, California. Typically, all we see here in Cabazon are microquakes and tremors. Microquakes and tremors. This is a 0.7 microquake. If we're able to have our seismograms back up, if USGS and Caltech would let us see them, we would probably see microquakes and tremors all over Cabazon area as a result of seismic energy here on the San Andreas Fault. On the San Andreas Fault. We go further up to the north here. Look what we have here. Right here. Redlands, California. This is a small cache of minor seismic energy here. This is a 1.3 tremor here. This is 0.9 microquake. This is a 1.1 tremor here. This is 0.6 microquake. 0.6 microquake, twin earthquakes there. This is 0.8 microquake here. Redlands, California. Typical what we see at the San Andreas Fault area. Unreal. You see Riverside out here to the west. They have earthquakes there, tremors as well. We don't see that today. Fontana. You don't see any earthquakes here in this area. Around San Bernardino, Fontana, Rancho Cucamonga, there are earthquakes here. Promise you. We have tremors, we have minor earthquakes, and we also have 3.0 earthquakes here in Fontana today. At least 3.0 earthquakes hit Fontana today. USGS not showing them at all. Unreal. Look what they're not showing us here in Los Angeles County area. Nothing. Not a thing. That's a fallacy. It's just plain not true. As I stated before, over here on the San Andreas Fault, we're expecting a major earthquake here on the San Andreas Fault. It's locked and loaded. It could happen today, tomorrow, or even next year, but we believe it's going to happen very soon. On the San Andreas, a major earthquake here. Okay? Let's go over here offshore. Offshore here. We go way up here. This is west-northwest of Malibu, California. Another 1.4 tremor here. Really nothing. Just along the coast here. 1.4 tremor, that's all. No big deal. Really nothing to talk about here in Southern California at all. We go up here to the north on the San Andreas Fault here. Come up here to the earthquake capital of California, the earthquake capital of the world. Fairfield, California today. This is a 0.4 microquake here. Still seismic energy here, Fairfield, California, on the San Andreas Fault. Go further north here. This is a 2.0 earthquake here in the Pinnacles, California. The Pinnacles here in California is on the San Andreas Fault. It's also got oil and gas drilling going on here. That's one of the reasons we have earthquakes here in the Pinnacles of California. We go north here. Also in the Pinnacles, 1.7 tremor here. Going north here on the San Andreas Fault, Ridgemark, California. We almost always have earthquakes here in Ridgemark. This is 1.3 tremor today. Just tremors, guys. Only tremors. We go north here, this time on the Hayward Fault. On the Hayward Fault, Morgan Hill, California. 2.8 minor earthquake here. We go up here between the Hayward and the Calaveras Fault here. Brentwood, California. 2.1 earthquake here. 2.1 earthquake. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. It's basically very quiet here. Very quiet. What happens when it's very quiet here, guys? What happens when it's quiet? What happens when it's quiet? That's when we're more likely to have more earthquakes. When it's quiet, we're more likely to have earthquakes. And USGS is not talking about what's going on exactly. They're hiding the information. They're hiding the information. It's happening, guys. It's happening. Now, I'm only going north here up to the Southern Cascades Subduction Zone region. The Southern Cascades Subduction Zone region. There's a small cache of earthquakes here. Just south of the San Andreas Fault here is a 2.3 minor earthquake. Going almost directly to the northwest, a 3.7 small earthquake here. Right here, literally on top of the San Andreas Fault, 2.3 minor earthquake. This is a 2.1 minor earthquake here. Further out here to the west, on the Gorda Escarpment, just southwest of the Cascade subduction zone and the San Andreas Fault. This triple junction area here, where the Cascade subduction zone comes down and makes it the Gorda Escarpment and the San Andreas Fault. Right here, to the east, we have a 2.1. Out here to the west, we have a 2.7 minor earthquake. Typical, very typical. Now, I'm not going to go any further because basically USGS hardly showing anything at all in Washington, Oregon, or even in Vancouver Island or British Columbia at all. They're hiding information. They're hiding information again. Now, to give you an idea, I may be coming on the air tomorrow morning. I may be coming on the air tomorrow morning to talk about Vancouver Island. Vancouver Island is having interesting things happen. Interesting things happen here. Just to give you a hint, the Cascade subduction zone plays a role here, but it's not the only thing that's going on here. Vancouver Island is basically breaking in half right in this region, right here. We may be talking about it as early as tomorrow morning. As I develop more and more information, I'm going to bring it to you to tell you what's going on. But to suffice it to say, several years ago, we told you about this when it happened. About 2020, December 24th, 2020, we had 4 7.0 earthquakes that happened here up the coast. 4 7.0 major earthquakes hit off the coast here. Why did it happen? Why did it happen? I think we have some answers. As I said, as I develop this whole program here about this, I'll bring it to you as soon as I'm ready to talk about it. You're going to get blown away. You're going to get blown away. Anyway, what I want to talk about tonight is very, very important. Very, very important here. There's a reason, guys. There's a reason. I almost hate to talk about this. I find it very distasteful to talk about. What we have going on here in Texas is not good. It's not good at all. Let's talk about this for a few minutes, then we'll talk about some weather, then we'll talk about emergency preparedness. Okay? Let's talk about what's going on here. I'm going to bring up our webcam. I'm going to bring up our EMA banner again here. Now, what's going on here in Texas? As of this month, May 1st, May 2026, a very high profile and legal conflicts are occurring in Texas. High profile and legal conflicts are occurring in Texas regarding proposed Muslim-centered developments, which state leaders have labeled as attempts to implement Sharia law. Governor Abbott and Attorney General Ken Paxton have taken action against Epic City project. They've taken action against the Epic City project. Let me show you what we're talking about here. I thought I had this up here already. Give me just a second here. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to sneeze in your ear here. Epic City is a planned Muslim community Huge Muslim community. Thousands of people live here, centered around this mosque in Texas. Right now, all it is a huge open area. But the Muslim community has established this as their epic city, centered around a huge mosque, as you can see here. Huge, huge mosque here. Now, guys, that can be good and bad. That can be good and bad. Let's talk about this. Okay? Again, Governor Abbott and Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton have taken action against the Epic City project. They now refer to it as the Meadow. As the Meadow. They changed the name so it would attract less attention. So it would attract less attention. Now, the governor of Texas and Ken Paxton have designated organizations like CARE, which is an Islamic revolutionary group. They designated them as terrorist organizations. Let's talk about the Epic City controversy. A planned 402-acre Muslim-centered residential development near Josephine, Texas, known as Epic City, and reportedly rebranded as Meadow, has been heavily criticized by officials who claim it is a vehicle for Sharia law. The Muslims themselves have also stated they want to implement Sharia law in Texas. Governor Abbott banned so-called Sharia law cities in late 2025. He declared the Council on American Islamic Relations, CARE, and the Muslim Brotherhood as terrorist organizations, banning them from acquiring property in Texas. Okay? Attorney General Ken Paxton has initiated legal action suing the developers of Epic City for violations of securities law, investment law, and targeting the Islamic Tribunal, a Dallas-based group. The Islamic Tribunal, you're going to hear more about that. There's a huge political debate going on. The issue has become a flashpoint in Texas politics, and now here in the United States, all over here as well, with officials such as John Cornyn, senator from Texas, Ken Paxton, the Attorney General, arguing over who is doing more to stop the developments, while developers and community members argue that the initiative is to legitimate residential project facing discriminatory actions. The Islamic community, CARE, is saying that the government is initiating discriminatory attacks. The reaction here. The Council on American Islamic Relations, CARE, has condemned the action of Texas officials as anti-Muslim bigotry. Now, a Texas jury, or I shouldn't say a jury, a Texas judge has gone along with the Muslim community. That's what's happened. While critics describe these developments as a quiet conquest or a Sharia compound, it's very important to note that these are contested characterizations, with lawsuits from the state aiming to prevent their development. A controversial master plan community, formerly known as Epic City, now known as Meadows, is proposed for, like I said, a 402-acre site near Josephine, Texas, 40 miles northeast of Dallas. That's where it is, Central Texas. Initiated in 2024 by members of the East Plano Islamic Center, EPIC, managed by community capital partners, the project has faced intense legal, political, and regulatory authority and scrutiny. Okay? The purpose, a faith-based residential community designed for Muslim life, featuring over 1,000 homes, a mosque, a K through 12 Islam-run school, senior housing, a community college, and commercial retail shops. They've rebranded this from Epic City, which would represent Islamic heritage, to the Meadows, to try to take some of the controversy off the development. While initially marketed as a focus on Muslim-centric community, developers have stated it will be open to people of all faiths with federal fair housing laws. Isn't that interesting? Because everywhere else, what Muslims have wanted Sharia law, did not want any of the faiths in their communities at all. They protested those people from moving into their communities. They protested their religions, forced them out. Unincorporated area near Josephine, Texas, impacting both Cullen and Hunt counties. This is an unincorporated area near Josephine, Texas, impacting both Cullen and Hunt counties. Let's talk about the legal status and controversies involved here. Legal wins for developers just 2 days ago. On April 29th, a Travis County District Court judge ordered the Texas Workforce Commission, the TWC, to comply in a 2025 settlement agreement with the developers, clearing all legal hurdles for the project. The Texas Workforce Commission must abide by the terms of the settlement 2025 agreement it reached with the development community partners. The group is called the Meadows, previously, like I said, called Epic City. The 201st District Court issued the injunction on Tuesday, and developers say it clears a path forward for the project. Community Capital Partners said in a statement that the firm will put the agreed upon fair housing policies in effect and resume public communications about the planned development. There is government opposition, including from the federal government. Texas Governor Abbott has heavily opposed the project, stating it will never see the light of day. He has directed multiple state agencies to investigate it. Governor Abbott signed House Bill 4211, 2025, aimed at preventing no-go zones by restricting land sales based on religious preference. Restricting major land sales based on religious preference. Ongoing investigations here. Despite the legal win with the judge in Texas, Meadows remains under investigation by the Texas Attorney General and federal partners at the Housing and Urban Development. Federal partners. The Federal Housing and Urban Development Agency is working on this as well. It's not just Texas anymore. Preliminary plans in Municipal Utility District MUD application have faced rejection by local counties due to being incomplete, delaying the start of construction here. Okay, I told you about that earthquake off of Honshu, Japan. We just had another 4.4 a couple minutes ago. Okay, as I stated here about the Meadows complex in Texas, there's all kinds of legal pushing and pulling here. Okay, but the applications for utilities have been rejected. The developers maintain that they've done nothing wrong and continue to move forward with the project's development plans. And they're going to take it through the courts. They got a minor court win 2 days ago. That doesn't mean they've totally won the battle. While state officials pledged to continue monitoring for compliance with Texas laws, it's ongoing. Now, let me tell you something about the communities in Texas. Houston has the largest Muslim population in Texas, in the southern United States, with estimates exceeding over 200,000 Muslim residents in Houston. And over 209 mosques. 209 mosques. The greater Houston area specifically hosts a massive, diverse Muslim community with significant populations also found in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, particularly in suburbs like Plano, Richardson, and Irvine, Texas. The Muslim communities in Texas are concentrated in urban centers, and as of 2025, last year, estimates suggest Houston has experienced significant growth in the demographic of the Muslim population. The Islamic Society of Greater Houston, the ISGH, is a primarily Sunni mosque system. Sunni mosque. Interesting. The Sunni mosque in the past have been influences of terror. One of the largest Islamic organizations in North America. By 2030, remember that date, 2030, the global Muslim population is projected to reach approximately 2.2 billion people, making up roughly 26.4% of the world's population. 26.4% of the world's population. This represents a significant 35% growth rate from 2010 till now, driven one by higher fertility rates and young median age. Young median age. What does that mean? That means young men from 19 to 30 years of age. Young men from 19 to 30 years of age. Interesting. This is going to be ongoing, guys. This will be ongoing into the future. We're going to see where Texas and the federal HUD organization, where they go with this. And guys, just because the state district courts awarded the meadows and the developers to grow the meadows continuing, it does not mean that the appeals court can't stop it. The appeals court can stop it, and they probably will. They probably will. Now, Joe Shinapah is here in the chat. He says, hello, everyone. Is there a series of earthquakes out in Nevada lately? Yes, it is. We've talked about this week. Let's go back to the USGS map and go over to Nevada here. Let's talk about this for a minute here. Okay, again, let me take down our EMA banner. Let's take down our webcam for just a minute. Let's go over here to Nevada, guys. Been talking about this for the last few days. North of Las Vegas here, near Alamo, Nevada. We talked about this the other day. We did significant study this the other day. Here we have a 1.6 tremor here. We had a 4.5 earthquake here the other day. This is a 1.5 tremor. This is a 2.0 earthquake. This is the 1.5 tremor here. Now, as I said before, this does not necessarily hit on earthquake parameters, not necessarily earthquake faults in this region. Why? Again, let's zoom in here and take a look at this. This is lava. This is a huge lava field here. This is a huge lava field throughout this region, throughout this entire region. The lava flow came all the way down here, where you see this tremor here. Yes, the majority of the shaking from the other day occurred right here. This is also an intense lava field. Why? Why? Let's zoom in here. Let's zoom in here. As we move through this region here by the satellite, you can see various craters and cones in this region. Various cones and craters here. This is where lava came out of the earth, not necessarily from the summit of a volcano, but from summit vents, from vents alongside the outer side of the volcano. That's what we're seeing here. That's what we're seeing right there. Okay, right here we have a crater. Look at the landscape here. The lava came down this hill and came down here and settled. Okay, also here, right here, there's another cone there. There are all kinds of cones and craters throughout this region. This is the volcanic field. Volcanic field here. We've had earthquakes here before. We're going to have more earthquakes again. When there's magma beneath the surface, it causes earthquakes, doesn't it? All of the volcanoes worldwide are recharging. All of the volcanoes worldwide are recharging. That's why we're seeing activity here today and during this past week. We saw it here about 2 years ago. We covered here 2 years ago when it happened. It's happening again. Widespread throughout this region. Okay, throughout this entire region. Now, over here, okay, we come over here to northern Arizona, to the Utah southern border here. There are craters and cones all throughout this area as well. Right there. Okay, all throughout this area. We cross the border on Interstate 15 here, going up towards St. George here. There are cones and craters outside St. George, Utah here. Going over here in Esplanade. Cones and craters throughout this region. This is a volcanic area, guys. This entire region is a volcanic area. Look at that. Right where you see this urban area here, it's a crater. It's a crater, guys. Incredible, huh? They did the same thing. They built an urban area over in Los Angeles, in the La Puente area, the Walnut La Puente area. Built 2 cities there. They've done that here in southern Utah as well. Right directly on top of a volcano. Right directly on top of a volcano here. All throughout this region here. All throughout this region, guys. Volcanic activities here. Volcanic activities here, guys. As I showed you before, we had activity over in Cedar City, north of St. George is Cedar City. Seen the same thing occur there. I'm trying to follow Interstate 15 here. Well, here, Enterprise. This is another place, guys, where we have volcanic activity. The Black Rock Desert Volcano here. The Black Rock Desert Volcano here near Enterprise, Utah. Magma, guys, magmatic earthquakes here. All the time. Just because we don't have them here right now doesn't mean it doesn't happen. It does. Literally all the time. Remember that? We've talked about the Black Rock Desert Volcano here before. It's here. All the volcanoes worldwide are recharging. All of them. Everywhere. We're seeing earthquakes, guys. We're seeing earthquakes. It's not going to go away. Not going away at all. Also over here in Nevada. Here in Nevada. We still have earthquake swarms here on the Walker Lane Fault. The Walker Lane Fault. Look at this swarm here. It's still ongoing. Lots and lots of earthquakes. This is a 5.2 earthquake here. 5.2 earthquake here. Interesting to note, it happened this morning. Happened this morning, guys. 5.2 large earthquake. Swarms continue here. This is a 4.3 here. A red earthquake means it just happened within the last couple hours now. They used to say 45 minutes. Now they're saying 2 hours. Red dots are 2-hour earthquakes. This is a 2.2 minor earthquake here near Silver Springs, Nevada. 12 miles east-southeast of Silver Springs, Nevada. Again, a 5.2 earthquake hit here today. We had a 5.6 earthquake here a week ago. The seismic energy is still there. Still there, guys. It's moving. It's moving. We're going to continue to watch this area. In this case, there's all kinds of faults here. You can see the faulting right here. All kinds of faults all over here. But it's not just faults. It's not just faults. Right there. There's a crater area here. There's a crater area, guys. There's magma down beneath this earth here. Unreal. Any questions? Thank you for bringing it up, Joe. I appreciate that. Berlinda is asking a good question. Why would anyone build on a volcano? In the question of Walnut La Puente, California, it was an expanding community. Developers could have cared less whether it was in a volcano or not. At that point in time, when they first started building out La Puente, the Walnut La Puente area, they didn't even bother to check the seismicity in the area. They didn't bother to check the geological history. They just built a city. Now the city and the county area there, they're measuring volcanic gases. They're measuring sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide in the region. Because right beneath that city is a volcano. The cities are sitting on top of a volcanic caldera, a great big huge volcanic rock. A great big huge volcanic rock there. Unreal. Great big huge volcanic rock, and the city's built on top of it. Now it's leaking volcanic gases. As I said, all the volcanoes worldwide are recharging. That's what's going on here. That's going to be ongoing for some time. Now, what can happen? Worst case scenario, we have a volcanic eruption. Yes, it could happen. Could realistically happen. Then look out. then look out. All of a sudden, then you're going to see Los Angeles County, San Bernardino County, Riverside County. You're going to see Orange County, even San Diego County to the south. You're going to see these counties go, oh gosh, we have a volcano. What are we going to do? Over in the Imperial Valley, the southern side of the Salton Sea, we have a Salton View volcano there. That is an active volcano. We've had movement on that volcano as well. We've talked about what has happened during the last 7 years. It's not going away. It's absolutely not going to go away. It is a present danger. Now, Mr. Clark, I don't remember his first name, he wrote the book Clear and Present Danger. There is a clear and present danger in Los Angeles. There's a clear and present danger in the Salton Sea region, in the Imperial County. There's clear and present dangers all over Nevada. Literally. There's lava all over that valley, all over that huge valley of Nevada, the desert, over into southern Utah as well, over into Idaho and Montana and Wyoming. Okay, it's all over. When they first started developing those communities, even the hometown where I used to live in Pocatello, Idaho, southwestern Idaho, when they first started developing Pocatello, Idaho Falls, they didn't even think about volcanoes or geological history at all. The cities were developed along the railroad routes, along the rail lines. That's why I was born there. My dad's father lived in Pocatello, Idaho, and was a blacksmith for the Union Pacific Railroad. Interesting enough. I was born there. Idaho Falls the same way. Going up into Montana and Wyoming, same thing. What happened? What happened, guys? Except for Yellowstone. Yellowstone is an entirely different story. They knew that Yellowstone was going to erupt at some point in time. They had geysers there. They knew there was geological activity going on. That's different. But going up into Wyoming and Montana, other places, they knew there was magma down beneath the surface. They knew it. They've known it for a long time. Ongoing. This ongoing, guys. It's going to continue and continue and continue. As stuff ramps up, as scientific activity ramps up, we have more and more near volcanic eruptions. We have more and more earthquakes because of magma down beneath the surface. When that comes to light, all of a sudden the counties and cities are going to go, oh my gosh, what's going to happen here? And just like over in southern Italy, they're going to evacuate people. They're going to evacuate people. They're going to have to save lives. Over in Nevada, guys, Alamo, Nevada is not that far from Las Vegas. Not that far from Vegas at all. What happens then? A couple million people live over around Vegas. What's going to happen then? All I can say is look out. Look out. St. George, Utah is about 50, 60,000 people, maybe larger. Over that entire region in southern Utah, huge, guys, huge. Tens of thousands of people live there. Look out. Look out. It's going to happen. It's a matter of time. People have learned. People, cities, counties, and states have learned. They've learned by sad experience. They've learned by sad experience that it happens. That's going to continue. The sad thing is it's going to continue and continue and continue until somebody gets it straight, until people learn. A hurricane head says, don't ask that question to people from Hawaii. They made their mistake. She made that mistake once. Those people in Hawaii make the mistake over and over and over again. Their basic philosophy with their indigenous people here in Hawaii also prayed to the volcanic gods. They prayed to the volcanic gods, guys. I've done research. Pele, the goddess of the volcano. Guys, still today, the myths still go on. Myths still go on. They say if you take a volcanic rock out of Hawaii, bad things will happen to you. And yes, it has happened. This has happened. Things happen to the people that take volcanic rock out of Hawaii. Bad things happen. And all of a sudden, what you see these people that take the volcanic rock out of Hawaii and send it back to Hawaii. They send the volcanic rock back to Hawaii. Unreal. Linda Covington says May Day work strikes around the country and around the world. Yes, May Day, all about workers. There are protests around the world, especially here in the United States and in New York. But the mayor of New York City, he's Muslim. He's trying to crack down on these protests in New York because it's not the Muslims that are doing it. The workers of New York are rebelling. And at some point in time, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? They're going to probably throw Mom Donnie's face out of New York politics. He's bankrupting the city of New York right now. Bankrupting them. Unreal. All kinds of bad things happen because what is going on there. All kinds of bad things happen because of what's going on there. Dennis, thanks for being here, guy. I just saw you here. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you being here. Also, while I'm thinking about this, before I go in and talk about the weather and about emergency preparedness, guys, I want to talk about what's actually happening. Excuse me a second. My Bluetooth died. I just had to plug it in. Before I go in and talk about weather here, okay? I'm going to talk about preparedness in just a second. Talk about hurricanes here, okay? I promise you guys I'd do that, okay? Hurricanes, what's going on? I asked Hurricane Heather to give me information about what she thought was going to happen with the hurricanes this year. Let me show you what she gave me. Okay, right here. This is a hurricane forecast for 2026. We're going to have 15 named storms, 7 hurricanes, 4 major hurricanes out of that. 7 hurricanes are going to make landfall. 3 are going to make major landfall in huge urban areas. Huge urban areas. Now, what's going to happen? Let's look at this. These are the names of the storms. First one's Arthur, then Bertha, Cristobal, Dolly, Edward, Faye, Gonzalo, Hannah, Isaiah, Josephine, Kyle, Leah, Marco, Nana. If we go past there, we'll get to Omar, Paulette, Renee, Sally, Teddy, Vicky, and Wilfred. There are 21 named storms here. They say we're only going to get 15 named storms. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Yes, we're going to get in hurricanes very soon. We've already begun hurricane season now. The National Weather Service is ramping up for more hurricanes coming in the shore. Ramping up for it. They know it's going to happen. Let's talk about storms now. Let's talk about what's going on in Texas and in the Gulf Coast and over into Louisiana, Florida, and up into the southeast coast of the United States in the next few days. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Deep down south, this is what we can expect tonight. Southeastern Texas is going to get smacked. Here in this green area, these green areas here, we may see upwards of 5 inches of rain. 5 inches of rain. What's going on here? We're in the Gulf of Mexico here, guys. Here in the Gulf of Mexico along the coastline, we have very, very deep humidity. Very, very deep humidity. The moisture coming off the Gulf of America is coming on shore in waves, literally waves of moisture. They even have waves on the Gulf of America, waves of moisture, literally. Okay, with that coming in there. We also have thunderstorms going across this area. Huge thunderstorms, guys, huge thunderstorms. Let's take a look at this. I'm sorry, that's not the one I want to show you first. It's right here. Southeastern Texas, like I said, is going to get smacked around. Upwards of 5 inches of rain are going to be coming from some of these storms here. These red areas are thunderstorms. We're going to get some tornadoes. Yes, today we may see some tornadoes tonight. Almost indubitably, we're going to see tornadoes here tonight. Going up into Texas, Louisiana here, Lake Charles, Alexandria, Monroe, Louisiana. Look at this. They've already been cooking up, haven't they? They really have. Then across the entire southeast here, all the way over here into Alabama and Georgia. Look at Florida. The panhandle of Florida is also get hit with moisture. Lots and lots of moisture. Upwards of 3 to 4 inches of moisture here in the panhandle of Florida. Going up into Georgia here. Light rain, but we're still expecting some rain here. Going all the way up into North Carolina, where I live. Over towards the coastal areas, we may see rain in as much as 3 to 4 inches of rain along the coastal areas of Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina, going up into Virginia. Rain, heavy rain. The west side of North Carolina, you're going to see less rain, and maybe not any at all. We are in a drought here, apparently. I've been told we are in a drought. We need the rain. We need the moisture. We don't want the heavy thunderstorms at all. We had some thunderstorms earlier this week. I'm sure they're going to happen again very, very soon. Now, this rain is going to continue, guys. It's going to continue. We have thousands of people living here along the coastal areas of southeastern United States. We're going to get hit with rain, all kinds of rain today, and through Sunday, through at least Sunday. As this rain goes through, we'll keep you advised of what's going on here. We have really major issues, we'll come on there and tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. It's likely to happen. Very likely to happen. We're showing you this here. Less rain down here in Central Florida. Northern Florida, Jacksonville, Tallahassee's going to get smacked around. Tampa and Orlando, you're going to see less rain, but you're going to see rain this evening into Saturday and even Sunday. Be aware of it. Make preparations now. Make preparations now. You're going to see flooding inevitably in the streets, in other places as well. Make preparedness actions now, before it even gets going here. Before it even gets going. Now, in relationship to what's happening now in Texas, in Louisiana, Mississippi, going over into Alabama area, even in the Missouri, Indiana area, bat down the hatches, guys. You're going to see snow, or you're going to see snow. You're going to see rain. You're going to see thunderstorms. And you're going to see tornadoes, guys. Bat down the hatches. Flooding as well. Now, when we talk about storms, I don't think we're going to get hit by a hurricane tonight or tomorrow, but it's likely soon after that. I want to talk about hurricane do's and don'ts. Hurricane do's and don'ts here. Don't go outside during the hurricane. This should be a no-brainer. Should be a no-brainer. Even a Category Hurricane 1, Category 1 hurricane can reach sustained winds of 74 miles per hour. Hurricane Category 5 storms winds over 156 miles per hour. There was one guy down in the Keys 2 years ago, down in the Florida Keys. They had evacuated the Keys except for one man. He lashed himself to a tree. Lashed himself to a tree where he couldn't go anywhere. Where allegedly the winds and the rain couldn't force him out off the tree. It's not what the winds are necessarily blowing in the wind. Not necessarily the rain. It's what the winds are blowing into you. Like I said, it's not necessarily the wind itself that's blowing, or the rain the wind is blowing into you, but what else the winds might be picking up and blowing into you. That guy was pretty stupid. The guy was very stupid. A great big Volvo had been blown into within 2.5 feet of him. He got lucky. Tied himself to a tree, and before anybody could rescue him, a Volvo sedan was almost driven into the tree within 2 feet of the tree. He survived. As I said, it's not necessarily the wind or even the rain that the wind is blowing into you. It's what the wind is carrying into you. What the wind is carrying into you. Wind speeds of that range from 74 miles an hour to 156 miles per hour. Wind speeds like this can even turn small debris into deadly missiles. Don't be fooled about the eye of the storm either. When we talk about the eye of the hurricane storms this year, don't be fooled by the eye. The center of the eye can become very quiet. The center of the eye of the storm can become very quiet and even have blue sky. But when that hurricane still moves, the winds are going to reverse directions. Look out. Look out. Hurricane force winds are going to return from the opposite direction. Then you're going to have real problems. Another thing I want to warn you about, and we'll talk about this again this year, this summer, don't bring your barbecue grill indoors. Don't bring your barbecue grill indoors. If your power goes out, don't be tempted to throw some steaks on the barbecue indoors. Don't bring it indoors at all, ever. Some people do this. They've been found dead the next day from carbon monoxide poisoning. Charcoal and gas grills especially can release deadly levels of carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. Don't do it. Don't drink non-bottled or untreated water. Do not drink unbottled or untreated water. Floodwaters are often filled with bacteria and other contaminants, including sewage. Don't drink tap water. I've had reports all last year and even years before that where people drink tap water when they shouldn't have done it. They've gotten sick. 2 people died last year from drinking tap water, contaminated water. Don't drink any water that has been exposed to flood waters. Don't drink any water that has been exposed to flood waters, including bottled water. If your bottled water has been exposed to flood waters, don't drink it. Throw it out. The outside part of the bottle has been contaminated. If you drink from that bottle, you might also get very sick and even die. Don't do it. Make sure your water is safe to drink. Make sure your water is safe to drink, guys. I'm giving you some hints here. Now, guys, since I was a kid, I was told that they have parties, hurricane parties, when they have a hurricane blow in. They get all sorts of alcohol, all sorts of snacks such as chips and salsa and such. They sit there and get drunk. They sit there and get drunk. They get near a window where the wind is blowing. The window breaks from the high winds of the hurricane. They get stabbed and glass wounds, glass shards blowing from the broken window into their bodies. Those glass shards and anything else can kill you. They can unalive you very easily. Last year and years before, we've heard of 2x4, big, huge 2x4, great big, huge pieces of wood flying through the air and stabbing into a home, stabbing into the perimeter of the home, the walls of the home. Go into the interior part of your home and stay there. Go to the interior part of your home and stay there, guys. Stay there. Have a basement, go to your basement. Don't drink a bunch of alcohol, get drunk and party. Don't do it. We also had people last year that got drunk and went out into the storm and were killed. Don't do it. Don't drink alcohol during a hurricane. You never know when you're going to need to evacuate at a moment's notice or even deal with life-threatening emergencies. You're going to want to have all your wits about you while the hurricane is raging. Lives can depend on you. Other lives can depend on you being sane, being completely alcohol-free, yours included. That's why some jurisdictions will ban alcohol sales prior to a hurricane. Happens all the time. Some things that I would have you do. Some things I would have you do before and during the hurricane. Do stock up on loads of water, lots of water. Bottled water in a case. Bottled water in a case and put it above the floor. In case your house gets flooded, put the bottled water above the floor, 2 or 3 feet high off the floor. The CDC recommends at least 5 gallons of water per person. At least 5 gallons of water per person. You may also want to also buy a bunch of iodine tablets to clean your drinking water. Now, I talked about chips and salsa for a reason. Do make sure you eat more than just chips and salsa, or bread for that matter. You're going to want to have lots of non-perishables with nutritional value. You're going to want to have non-perishable food for nutritional value, especially canned foods. A minimum of 3 to 5 days supply of per person is recommended. 3 to 5 days supply of food, non-perishable food, is recommended for everybody. Prepare your house properly. Prepare your house properly. Clear your yard of furniture or anything else that could blow away. Take your patio furniture, your tables and chairs, and put them inside your home. Take your basketball hoop down so it doesn't become a thrown weapon with the wind. Pick up other trash and garbage around your property or anyone else's property, including 2x4s or the other large objects that could be blown about in the wind. Clean your property up and the other's property as well. Help each other. Cover your windows. Cover your windows and doors with door shutters and storm shutters or plywood. Cover your doors and windows with plywood. Stay away from windows and doors during the storm if you can. Stay away from windows and doors during the storm if you can. Make sure your carbon dioxide detectors have battery power. Change your batteries, guys. Change your batteries. Every year when our time changes, I get up on a ladder and change the batteries in our smoke and carbon dioxide detectors. There's a reason. There's a reason. Make sure your carbon dioxide and your carbon monoxide detectors are checked and running. Make sure they're checked and running. Make sure they have enough battery power to prevent CO poisoning, prevent carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide poisoning. Be responsible. Be responsible and prepare for the worst. Make sure you have emergency and evacuation plans in place. Make sure you have emergency and evacuation plans in place before the storm hits. I talk about this all the time. A lot of people poo-poo me. Oh, Ron, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, Ron, we don't have to do that. Yes, you do. Yes, you absolutely do. Every family and every business needs to have an emergency preparedness plan. Every family and every business needs to have an emergency preparedness plan. We've talked about preparedness plans before. Next Friday, if nothing else happens, cross your fingers, we'll talk about emergency preparedness planning next Friday. Not just for hurricanes, not just for tornadoes, not just for earthquakes, for every kind of emergency. We're going to be talking about preparedness plans next Friday. Find out for yourself where the nearest storm shelter is. Find out for yourself where the nearest storm shelter is and keep track of the storm. Keep track of the storm. Turn your televisions and radios to a news talk station. Turn your televisions and radios to a news talk station where they talk about news, weather, and sports. That way, when a storm blows in, they're going to talk about the storm where it is. So you're going to know what's going on. Secondarily, this radio right here will save your life. This radio right here will save your life, I promise you. Make sure you have an AM and FM weather radio. Make sure you can have an AM, FM weather radio. Now, Ryan Hall raised $160,000 this past week when he was talking about storms all week long. He was on the air over, I think it was 170 hours on the air. He raised over $160,000 in one community alone. He donated emergency preparedness radios, AM, FM weather radios to the entire community. He gave the fire departments the radios. The fire department passed them out to the community. These are great radios. You can buy a similar radio for at least $9 or $10. Some of these radios can go upwards of $50. This was $29 here. $29. Now, guys, I can charge this radio here through the solar panel. Through the solar panel. On the back side of the radio, I have a crank. Turning this crank, I can provide power for 30 minutes. I can recharge the battery that's in this radio for 30 minutes to provide power for me to know what's going on. Whether it is a thunderstorm, a tornado, or a hurricane, or an earthquake, you need to have one of these radios, guys. You need to have a radio. On the side here, it has a lamp. It has a light for emergencies. It has AM and FM radio where you can listen to music if you want, or you can listen to weather radio when there's an emergency. You can listen to the AM, FM radio news talk stations that will give you information about what's going on in your area. Now, if you're listening to just a music station, they're not probably going to give you weather information. Tune your radios and your televisions to news talk stations so you can have the latest weather information that you're going to need to get through the storms. Do we have any questions? While I'm asking for questions here, I want you to make sure you also have or own a first aid kit. Have or own a first aid kit. I've got a first aid kit right beside my desk. I've got a first aid kit in our emergency preparedness kit here. I've got smaller first aid kits in our 72-hour kits here as well. Have them, guys. Those first aid kits could save your life. No CPR. Go and take a class in CPR. That way, if your husband, your daughter, your son, anyone in your family has a heart attack, you can bring them back. I myself done it. I've done it. I only lost two people in my career that I could not bring back. I got lucky. You can get lucky too. Build your own or buy at least a first aid kit. You're going to want to add something to that first aid kit, so make sure it's large enough so you can add things to your first aid kit. Because you're going to come up with things that aren't in that first aid kit. You're going to want them in your first aid kit. Make sure you have plenty of medicines. If you're diabetic or have a heart condition or high blood pressure, make sure you have your medications as well. Those medications can save your life during any kind of storm or anything else. Make sure you have plenty of medications to get you through the worst things in life. Any questions here? Linda Covington says, storm chasers, weather stations on. Absolutely. Now, if you're on Facebook, I would ask you to tune to weather lead or thread on Messenger. Turn to a weather station on Messenger. Our Hurricane Heather here has her and Renee Steffi have a messenger thread. I urge all of you to be part of that emergency thread. Everyone should. Her thread is called Wildfires or Weather and Wildfires. Go and look up that thread. Ask to become members of that thread. And hopefully myself or Heather or Renee Steffi will bring you up as members. They talk about hurricanes. They talk about tornadoes. They talk about thunderstorms all the time. They talk about wildfires all the time. You need that information. Another thread on Facebook is very good. It is run by our dear friend Sharon. Our dear friend Sharon. Sleeping Volcanic, she's sometimes known by. She runs a thread, Quakes and Volcanoes. Quakes and Volcanoes. Go over there and get membership on that Quakes and Volcanoes thread. Get latest information about all kinds of earthquakes. Sharon has access to all kinds of earthquake information. I sometimes also post information about earthquakes and volcanoes as well. She does a great job. Go there and get into that thread if it's possible. We'll bring you into that. We'll bring you into that. Hurricane Heather says her and Renee are known as Twisted Sisters. I just know them as my sisters. I've grown to love them, guys. I've known them for quite a few years now. I have grown to love them a lot. I depend on them a lot. Sometimes I think maybe I've gone too far because I depend on them so much. But that's how good a job that they do. That is exactly why they do their job, and they do it very well. And I love and appreciate them a lot. I love and appreciate them a lot. Do I have any questions from anybody here? Any questions? I know I've talked about a lot of things tonight. Things that involve our lives. I want to make sure we're ready for it. I want to make sure we're going to survive. I want to make sure that we are ready with Jesus Christ. We're ready to go. Hurricane Ed says, thank you for all you do for us, sir. No problem. That's what we do to help each other. That's what we do to help each other. One last thing before we go. I've been asked to announce this. I don't know how many of you love the Osmond family. The oldest Osmond, Alan, died last week. Alan's funeral is tomorrow morning at 11:45 a.m. Mountain Time. Alan Osmond's funeral is tomorrow morning at 11:45 a.m. Mountain Time. You can go over to Walker Sanderson Funeral Home and Crematory. One word, Walker Sanderson Funeral Home and Crematory. In that room, you'll be able to access a funeral. One room streaming, guys. Again, Walker Sanderson Funeral Home and Crematory. One word streaming for the Alan Osmond funeral tomorrow morning, Saturday morning at 11:45 a.m. Please do that. Please do that. Like I said, I was asked to announce that. Now, one last thing. This time I'm in the New Testament in Luke chapter 21. This time in verse 11. Some of you also know this verse. You might know it very well. Let's talk about it. When you actually verses, I want to go over here. I want to start in verse 8 and then go down to verse 11. And he said, take heed that ye be not deceived. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must come to pass. But the end is not by and by. Then said he unto them, nations shall rise up against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And great earthquakes shall be in divers places, and famines and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heavens. But before all these, they shall lay their hands upon you, and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and in prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. And it shall turn a testimony to you for a testimony. It shall turn to you for a testimony. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate or meditate before what ye shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which will all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay or resist. Ye shall be betrayed by both parents and brethren, and kinfolk and friends. Some of you shall see the cause to be put to death, and ye shall be hated by all men for my name's sake. There shall not there shall not be a hair of your head perish. Not a hair of your head shall perish. In your patience possess ye your souls. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let them which are in the midst of it depart. And let not them that are in the countries enter therein too. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck. In those days there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles will be fulfilled. There shall be signs in the heavens, in the sun, in the moon, in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up, lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. Then the Savior talked of the parable of the fig tree. There's reason. Take heed to yourselves, lest any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. For as a snare shall it come to all of them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. It's coming, guys. It's coming. It's coming. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's be very aware of everything around us. Let's know what God has for us. Let's be very aware of what God has for us. Be prepared. Be prepared, guys. Like I said, these storms right here are going to hit tonight. They're going to move across to the East Coast tonight, into tomorrow and Sunday. Be prepared. Earthquakes are going to hit. They always do. Be prepared. Storms are going to hit. They always do. Be prepared. Be prepared, guys. I ask God to bless you now. I ask God to be with you this day and always. This is Friday. Usually we take the weekends off. If something major happens, we'll be on the air to talk to you about as soon as the information becomes available. As I said, I may be coming on the air tomorrow. I have information about Cascadia that you might want to hear about Seattle and Vancouver Island. As I get more information, I'll come on the air about that. Other than that, unless something major happens, we'll be off the air Saturday and Sunday, except on Sunday, about 12:30 noon, we'll be coming on the air with another episode of Come Follow Me, the Savior Said. On this channel on Sunday, we have a Sunday school class called Come Follow Me, the Savior Said. Please join us sometime after 12:30 p.m. Sunday afternoon. May God bless you. May God be with you this day and always. May God be with you and take care of you. May we worship Him who made us, who helped bring us here to the earth. Let's do this, guys. Let's help each other and worship God. God be with you until we meet again, guys. Have a good weekend. Take care, everyone. Much love. See you soon. Good night.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better. Bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate all that you do. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. God bless you.